Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, February 8th, 2023. It is 6:35. I would like to call the meeting to order, and I would like to please invite Pastor Martin from Trinity to come up for the blessing, please.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's a privilege to be here. I just became the pastor in October of Trinity Evangelical Christian Church, and so it's a blessing to be here tonight, and hope to be used as much as needed in the community here. So let's begin in prayer. Lord, we come before you and we thank you for this night that you've given us. We thank you for the opportunity to get together and share thoughts and ideas and work through situations that we need here in this community, Lord. I ask, Lord, that you would bless these conversations. I thank you for each and every life in here. Lord, they are all here to serve, and Lord, you call us to be a steward of the things that you first blessed us with. And so here they are, Lord. They're here to be a good steward of this community, the lives that you've entrusted them with. And so, Lord, would you take what they do here this evening and multiply it, use it for your good purposes, and Lord, might their conversations be pleasing to you, might there be great unity in this room tonight, and Lord, open up their minds to what you have to happen here tonight. And Lord, as we go, may they all get home safely, get great rest, and should you give us another day tomorrow, Lord, may we get right back at it. And Lord, we love you and we thank you for all of your blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Please rise to pledge allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson. Trustee Udris. And before we move on, I'd like to ask for a motion to allow Trustee Udris to be dialed in. I did receive notification from him 48 hours prior to the meeting, and it's in regards to a family emergency, so he does meet the requirements. If I can have a motion.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Trustee Udris, can you hear? Can you hear us okay?
Trustee Udris. Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. You have been, the motion has been made and you've been allowed to join in.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to open to the public. Does anybody have anything that they would like to say? Okay. May I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. I have several things tonight. The first being an opening bid for real estate properties at 5015 West Cardinal Court. PIN numbers 2114-22412-0260000. 4964 West Hawk Lane, PIN number 21-14-21-413-0170000. 4990 West Hawk Lane, PIN number 2114-413-015-00000, and 5017 West Ribbon Drive, PIN number 21-14-21-413-002-0000. There was one bid received by the deadline. The second one came in 3 days later. Larry stated that, of course, if you can keep it as is, or
Sorry, the board has two options. One, you could reject that bid that came in late, or you can make a motion to waive technicalities. I don't think he or she was that late, so the board has an option, if they deem it appropriate, to motion to waive technicalities and accept that bid that was late.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Udris,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
So the two bids that were received, there was one from Garth Builders, Inc. That was the second one received, and the first one, as I get it open here, was from JCP Carpentry, Inc. So this, let's see, given Will County, Illinois soliciting proposals for the sale of property at the lots that I mentioned above. This is for respect to the invitation to seal bids regarding the above referenced disposition. I am pleased to bid the sum of $100,000, which is $25,000 per lot. Once again, that was JCP Carpentry, Inc. And the second one is from Garth Builders, and they're proposed to purchase all 4 lots in the sum of $80,000.
I'm sorry, at this time, the board's got two options. One, you could take it to committee, or you accept the highest bid for the $100,000. It's up for the board's review and consideration.
Was the company that came in late the higher number?
I'm not sure.
No.
I make a motion.
I make, oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, I make a motion that we take the $100,000.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Guess I probably should have said that first, but happy Black History Month. Second, wanted to make sure that I let everyone know that the early voting has been revised, and so it has been moved up to the first week. So it would be beginning on Monday, March 20th, and that's to the 25th. So from every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I know normally on Thursdays I try to have that be the late day, but because of the fact that county is not open during that time for early voting during the first week, we cannot be open past county. So it will be 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and Saturday will still be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Also, statement of economic interest, we will start having filings going out. County was a little bit behind and stated that they will start getting those emails sent out as of this coming Monday. If you don't receive it Monday, it's okay. Just be on the lookout for it, and please also watch your Barracuda, because a lot of times that's mostly where it goes to, the blocked emails. And the deadline to file those will be May 1st, so I will be reminding as time comes closer. Also, just a reminder as well that at our last committee of the whole meeting, which is this past Monday, the next committee of the whole meeting was rescheduled from, thank you, from February 20th to February 27th at 6 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to my report. We've got a presentation this evening on a tax appeal process. Graham Robertson is a Monee resident, and he has offered his assistance and knowledge with the tax appeal process. So I would like to invite him up today to give you guys a presentation of what he is proposing to do and help the village. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor. Can you hear me? Okay. Trustees, again, I'm Graham Robertson. I've lived in the village 9 years, and it's been apparent over that period of time that I've had to go ahead and file for tax assessment each and every year. And I come before you tonight to propose a program by which we can train the trainer. As the mayor made the comment, I've had a lot of experience over the last 40 years, having lived in Will County, in Homer Glen, where I started at about 32 years of age, and moved around the country, then came back, but have also found that things haven't changed. What you have before you in hard copy will be the PowerPoint presentation, which I'll be really giving you an overview of what the current situation is, and then moving forward a little bit to give you kind of a inside look at what I'm looking to propose. So let's go here. Okay. Yeah, okay. If we start here at the current situation, as it says, the residential tax share year over year continues an upward trend within the village of Monee due to the Monee Township Assessor and Will County Supervisor of Assessments. Monee actually ranks 4th in Will County for the highest residential tax rate. Hard to believe, right? We've got a higher tax rate than Frankfurt, our next door neighbor. For 2022, our tax rate, for example, was 3.4%. And that was based on a home median price of $194,250, with a median tax of $6,570. When you look at Frankfurt, the effective property tax rate is 2.4%, 1% lower than Monee's. Base median price of home is $385,000, with a median tax of $9,262. You look at Mokina, tax rate of 2.5, based on a median home price of $320,000. Median tax of $7,921. So what we're kind of looking at here is, what do you really want? We're getting kind of equalized, but our homes are not valued as they would be in Frankfurt or Mokina. And their tax rate is lower. I would say there's a lot of different amenities in those two townships that may be a little bit higher quality. So this is where we have to look at in terms of trying to turn back some time. So moving on here into the PowerPoint, it says homeowners complain about residential taxes every year, but fail to take the next steps to help them reduce the burden on their annual incomes and the community. Well, I'm not actually blaming it totally on the residential homeowners. This is the Will County residential appeal form. It's 33 pages long. I can pass it around if you'd like. And you will be able to see that much of that is legalese, definitions, do's and don'ts, what you need to present. So by the time the average residential homeowner starts reading through that, probably by page 3 or 4, they're probably calling it quits. So there really isn't an incentive for many homeowners to continue, other unless they hired some outside party to go ahead and prepare it for them, which they're going to do at a fee. And it isn't a one-time deal. Usually this happens annually. So how do we really reverse this constant formula? Because what we get into is we get assessed a higher rate. Homeowners look at the appeal and say, forget it. And the cycle continues year after year after year, and the taxes go up. And I'm not saying that when we go into this that we're going to be hitting home runs. What we're going to be looking at is, those that are familiar with baseball, it's called the term small ball. We're going to go for first base, second base, and get people around. There are no trying to get $5,000 knocked off your taxes. But it has to start someplace. So how do we reverse the current formula? Provide the Village of Monee homeowners with knowledge to learn the steps necessary to appeal their annual notice of revised assessment, which usually starts hitting our mailboxes in August, as it will this year. Having, as I say, personally won every residential tax appeal in Will County, Homer Glen, Monee, either with the Township Assessor, the Will County Board of Review, and the State of Illinois Tax Appeal Board, I understand the process. I have gone through every one of these. If the assessor has not seen it my way, if you will, I go on to Will County, where you have to file that form. The last really 3 pages or 4 pages in that document are the ones that really go in to the appeal board. If they review it and they agree with you, you're in good shape. If you don't, then you still have a chance to go to the state. The state, from my past experience, has always been very gracious in terms of rolling back. So it is a process, and sometimes it can take up to a year if you go to the state, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I would say 99.9% when you file with the state, if the county does not approve your request, the state will. Majority of homeowners find the appeal process too complex, as I was saying earlier, confusing, or if granted an appointment, they sit down with the township assessor without any game plan, knowledge to prove the request for a reduction. When you go in to sit down with the assessor, they know everything, what to say to you. A lot of time when you're not prepared, not understanding what to do, how to present your appeal. If you've got a ranch, for example, and you use a 2-story, that won't work. And amenities, the end is endless on what you will get rejected for unless you really know what to look for. Many appeals, or people that think that they're going to, homeowners that are going to appeal their taxes, think they have to appeal the residents, the whole enchilada, the land too, but you don't have to. And many people don't know that. You can just appeal on a residence, that your neighbors, usually you need 3 to 4 comps, as they call them, and to show that, yes, I am being overassessed, but you can use your land. Your residence may be fine, but it's your land that's overassessed. So you can just appeal on that, and a lot of people don't even know that. So there's things that we can do through this Train the Trainer program to make people aware and help them with the filing of their appeals, if the assessor will not go ahead and maybe see things their way, okay, providing that they have the evidence that is needed to be able to roll back their tax. I propose that I help train volunteers via, raising that awareness through the Vedette or the village's Facebook page, supported by the Village of Monee, to help assist homeowners in our community to understand how to go about the residential tax appeals process and start reversing the current tax trend in our village. What is required of the Village of Monee? Space in the Village Hall with some chairs, tables, availability for some evening hours, because everybody doesn't work off during the day. 2 desktop computer terminals and a printer, pens, paper, stapler, etc. Help promote, support the residential property tax appeal process. Let's see, go on page 2 here. If it works. I don't know why we're not. I don't know why. Is John here? I know he loaded this on here. Sorry. There you go. There were 3 pages. You should be able to just do your arrow. So the next one should come up. Looks like there's only one. There's 3 pages. Is the second one? Yeah. No, I think you might have. Where is the next one? I don't see it. He says just one. There's just one. That's right. Just shows one. I can read off the one I have, but okay. There should be. Do you have 3 pages there on the hard copy?
No, just the one.
Oh boy. Okay. Should be 3. We'll be able to get those to you.
If you have extra, you can just give it and I can take a
Yeah,
copy and pass it
You
to
bet.
them.
Okay. The next step timeline would be to advertise, promote the tax appeal process, to train the trainer, volunteers on the village's Facebook page, and Vedette newspaper for village residents interested in being trained in the residential appeals process. First meeting at Village no later than week of March 13th, 2023, with volunteers. This meeting would allow for prospective trainers to be selected who can be of service in understanding the residential appeals process and assist in providing information, guidance to those residential homeowners so they can determine if their land or building, that's the physical structure, have been fairly assessed with comparable residences in their neighborhoods. 2 of the 3 meetings utilizing the Village Hall would further allow for village residents to have a tutorial of the appeals process and be familiar with the forms if they wish to proceed, and also a Q&A session for questions and answers, obviously. Familiarize the homeowners with tax exemptions already in place if they so apply. What we have right now is senior citizens assessment freeze exemption, disabled persons homestead exemption, disabled veterans homestead exemption, returning veterans homestead exemption. A lot of people don't even know some of these exist, or they don't want to go ahead and they don't know how to proceed in taking advantage of the exception. The village homeowner resident can, after gathering their information in terms of comparables, 3 to 4, may seek guidance from the trainers on specific days, hours, to further assist them with meeting with the Monee Township Assessor or completing the appeals forms associated with the residential appeals process related to the deadlines. Will County Township of Monee will send proposed residential assessments to homeowners week of May 20, 2023. This is not your final assessment. This is just the pre-assessment. Another revised assessment will be sent first week of August 2023. This will be the one that your appeal will be based on. Homeowner will have from August 10th at that point, 2023, to September 12th, 2023, per the Will County Assessor's Office, to meet with your local township assessor and/or file a residential appeal with the County Board of Review. Normally, the assessor, the Monee Township Assessor, will not have enough time to take everybody in terms of appeals. I mean, to sit down with you, there's going to be a first come, first served basis. So you will just then be told to file an appeal, that packet that you saw. Again, very scary. So that's another deterrent, if you will, for everybody just to go home and let things go the way they are. Also, when you do appeal, you will be having to still go to the township assessor's office, which sometimes could be challenged because of the hours, and I think they're still under COVID regulations there. So you have to call, make an appointment, and you have to obtain what they call your property record cards for these comps that you will use, 3 to 4. So you're going to need 3 to 4 comparables and your own, so that's 5. And you have to get those from that township assessor. So again, there's a lot of challenges through this maze, and what I'm proposing for your consideration is I'm willing to give the time to help train people and the knowledge to help other people to get this up and running. And if we get 20 people this year, okay, it's 20 more than we've had. The average in the United States for people that appeal residential appeals, 4%. And the reason for it, probably similar paperwork. So I appreciate the time. I appreciate the time that the mayor and Ruben gave me to be able to sit down with them and give them an overview, and for them to allow me to be able to come here today and present this to the board. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Does anybody have any questions for Graham?
I don't actually have any questions, but I don't know about Village Hall, but I'm thinking this could be a perfect avenue for the Parks building then too. We have plenty of room and we have Wi-Fi and everything there too.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you, sir. Do you do this professionally? Do you do this?
No, excuse me. No, I'm retired. My real-time job was I was a corporate director for a waste environmental management for Sims Metal Management, and that's the largest company on the face of the earth for metals recycling.
So how did you get into doing this? Just for
As I
yourself?
said, I started when I was 32. I just felt that when I lived in Homer Glen, I can't remember what my first tax bill is, but it was a long time ago. But it was something that just rocked my world, So I think from there on in, I taught people in my neighborhood too how to go ahead about appealing taxes, and I've lived in Indiana. It's probably the only state I never appealed taxes in. Florida, did in Florida too.
So, I see a fair amount of ads for property tax attorneys doing the appealing process in Cook County. I've never seen somebody advertise in Will County.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that, because I don't look for them. I think, and again, Mr. Attorney, I don't want to put you out of business, but I think that, as I said to the mayor and Ruben, is that it's so simple the common man can't understand it, this process. It's just that there's so much boilerplate in when you first look at it that it just really just kind of defeats you right off the bat.
Intimidates you. Well, thank you for volunteering your time and your talent
No, thank
to
you.
us.
Glad to do it.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
You said that you have to win every tax appeal. How many is that?
No, maybe I confused that point. No, you don't have to win every tax appeal. What happens is, like, when you go to the assessor, I think that's the point you're looking at, then you go to the Will County Board, and then to the state. They're all appeal processes. In other words, if the assessor's office, you sit down with the assessor, or you can't see the assessor, and they say, no, we don't agree what you're saying, but you're saying, you know what, I'm right on this. So the next step you have to take is appeal to Will County through the paperwork process, okay? And, excuse me, you have to get these property record cards. It's an exercise. Again, that's the next defeating point of it. And then if you don't get agreement with the Will County Board, they may say, don't agree with you. You have to, then you can appeal to the state for state appeal board. And I have gone that far several times. And won.
And I think maybe what you understood him to say, that he said he's won every appeal that he's ever
Yeah.
made.
So how often have you had to go to the state because the county wouldn't?
Twice in 32 years.
Okay.
Oh, and so the other question, so the process starts August 10 through September 12th. Okay, you go through the process. When would you see, if they agree with you, when would you see either a reduction or a refund?
You will usually, if it's, let me answer this way. If it's the assessor that agrees with you, it's immediate. They will change it right there that day. They will have you sign like an agreement. And the reason they want you to sign it is because some people also then run around and submit the paper to Will County too at the same time. So the assessor says, once you agree to what we're talking about, that's the deal, right? And so you see that right away. It takes, do you have an envelope? They just sent these out to me. This is from last year, but the assessor went ahead and agreed with me. And they sent these out January 25th of this year. So that's when you get final notice. But that was for last year. Again, I won that appeal. So
September of last year, and you got the letter January.
yes.
So it's a long walk.
It's a long walk, yeah. You won't, the board, if it goes to Will County, it's really a while before you know the answer to the board, board of review. If you go to the assessor and they agree right away, you know pretty much right away that it's happening. But you have to keep up to date with Will County, and they work with you. In other words, when the assessor, Will County, Monee Township assessor says, okay, I agree with you, you signed the form and all that, it's not over. Unless they submit that form, and there's a due date that they have to have that into Will County, doesn't matter what you signed, if it doesn't make it to Will County, the board, it's like you didn't win. It doesn't mean anything.
Proof that they sent it.
Even if you have proof that they sent it, doesn't matter. They have, it has to be recorded with Will County, and you can call in, I can tell you the numbers, you can call in, and they will say, they'll verify, hey, did my assessor file that form by such and such a date? And if they didn't, then you can appeal, say, hey, I've got the form. Let me send it to you. Let me fax, excuse me.
Okay.
They all have faxes. So there's a lot of things that can slip through the cracks, again, for the average person that does it for the first time, and they think, the assessor just gave me, we signed off, it's all good. Not unless it gets to the Will County Board.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you.
I'm interested in learning.
Oh, okay, very
Sign
good.
me up.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First item under my report is the Police Department Sergeant Promotions 2. Chief Kerner has recently outlined to the board the Police Department's current table of organization and his desire to promote 2 officers, 1 patrolman, 1 detective, to the rank of sergeant. If the board approves this request, these promotions would address current supervisory vacancies and recognize the hard work, selfless dedication, and leadership these 2 outstanding police officers bring to the department each day. Both of these officers are eligible for promotion to sergeant and are currently ranked number 1 and number 2 on the sergeant's promotional list. We therefore recommend the promotion of Patrolman Chad Blake and Detective Dan DiPaolo to the rank of sergeant. Board action request is a motion to authorize the promotion of Patrolman Chad Blake to the rank of sergeant.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll make that motion.
Forgot he was here. Any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, board. Next board action request is a motion to authorize the promotion of Detective Dan DiPaolo to the rank of sergeant.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Thank
A
you.
little bit of a delay.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, board. Next item under my report is Parks and Recreation Supervisor Position 2. Director Diana Crow recently shared with the board the current Parks and Recreation table of organization, the growth of her department over the past year, future plans as the Park Comprehensive Plan continues to unfold, and the importance of hiring a professional, capable team that can meet these challenges. Part of that plan would be to create and hire 2 full-time supervisors. Director Kroll has provided a conservative estimate of 350 to 400 children participating in various park events and organized sports programs. This does not include adult-only classes or programs. Director Kroll will continue to assemble her team throughout the upcoming year to manage and oversee these programs. We therefore request to create and hire 2 park and recreation supervisor positions. Both of these positions have been budgeted for fiscal year 2023 and fiscal year 2024. A job description is attached for review and consideration. First board action request is a motion to approve the creation of 2 parks and recreation supervisory positions.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Oh, roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Next board action request is a motion to approve hiring 2 full-time Parks and Recreation supervisors.
So moved.
Second with discussion.
Discussion, yes.
Now, we would hire 1 in 2023 and hire the other in 2024? Is that what I'm understanding? It's not going to be right away now?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. So it would be 1 this year, 1 next year per
Fiscal
se?
year.
For fiscal year '24,
Okay.
correct.
All right. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, board. Last item under my report is Professional Services Agreement, Robinson Engineering, 2023 Village-Wide Roadway Maintenance Program. The Village of Monee continues to take proactive measures to maintain and improve its roadway system throughout the village. A list of potential roadways have been identified and tentatively scheduled for resurfacing during the 2023 road construction season. I have placed the map before you for consideration. This list would include 12 roadways within the village that have been identified as in poor condition or in need of maintenance and resurfacing. Part of the necessary efforts of improving the road system will take a strategic coordination with a capable engineering firm. Therefore, village staff would request to enter into a professional services agreement with Robinson Engineering. The proposed cost for engineering design would be 5% of the awarded contract cost. The fee for construction engineering services associated with the roadway maintenance improvements is 6% of the final construction cost. These proposed engineering service fees are similar to those allowed by the Illinois Department of Transportation guidelines for roadway maintenance projects. The board action requested is a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the professional services agreement with Robinson Engineering, which includes 5% of the awarded contract costs for the engineering design and 6% of the final construction costs for construction engineering services associated with the roadway improvements.
You need a motion then?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Thank you, board. End of my report.
Thank you, Ruben. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Not too much to report tonight, which I think is good. You know, we haven't had too much snow, and I don't have to report about the Public Works trucks clearing the streets, anything like that. One thing, if you're on Court Street, if you're walking along Court Street, you may see orange fluorescent spray paint markings, and that is preparation for the Court Street water main project, which will be commencing in early spring. So if my wife is listening to this, and that's the answer to your question about that. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things tonight. Monee Women's Club has been meeting at the Parks Building on Wednesdays for a Monee Crochet Club. All ages are welcome and no experience is needed. To come and learn from the best. The next group meeting is Wednesday, February 22, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. to bring your own yarn and crochet needle to learn some new projects. The next senior luncheon will be on February 15th. The fee is $5 and registration can be taken at Village Hall. The final senior luncheon till fall will be on March 15th with corned beef and Irish soda bread. We've got a lot of arts and crafts programs also planned for February and March, so please see your Village of Monee newsletter, and you can view them on the newsletter or on our website as well. If you'd like to teach a talent or hobby or appeal the tax process, the property tax, Parks and Recreation would love to have you teach a class. Monee Chamber of Commerce is holding its annual membership drive for 2023. They invite businesses to contact them to find out more about the chamber. To please call 708-421-1786. End of report.
Thank you very much. Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Not too much, thank you, Mayor. Not too much to report tonight. We are currently working on the budget for '24, and we are operating really well right now. I spoke with Daryl earlier today, and he said things look good, that the last few meetings have come together really well, and that's the end of my report.
Fantastic, thank you. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. We've got 17 permits that were issued for the month of January. They were valued at $109,767. We have 16 homes scheduled for resale inspection. As a part of my report tonight, and after discussing it with the Building Services Director. I would like to submit for consideration, we update our code books. Currently, we're working with the 2015 code books, and the current code book would be the 2021 code book. And the code update would also address all amendments necessary using the most up-to-date building codes and standards. It would ensure the accounting for current upgrades and changes in new construction. As of right now, we don't have that, so for your consideration, I would say. End of report.
Great, thank you very much. Public Safety, Trustee Udris?
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I just want to say congratulations both to Chad Blake and Dan DiPaolo. Not only do I respect them tremendously, but their leadership to our police department is invaluable. Going to emergency management, both of our brand new EMA volunteers are already on the job, and they've already started their training. EMA has taken delivery of a 2017 LED light tower with a 6K generator and has already placed it in service. This has completed EMA's emergency lighting generator and operation plan for emergencies and village events. Next, EMA is currently working with the building department and installing a VHF radio system that will be connecting EMA, DPW, police, and the building department on a VHF radio system. All this equipment is already owned by the village. It will be installed in-house at no cost to the village. So this is an expansion of a system that's already in place at EMA, giving the ability to connect all of the village departments. Parks and Rec will be included in this in the near future. And for our police department, since Christmas, the south suburbs have experienced dramatic increase in smash and grabs and car burglaries. Monee has not been immune to this increase despite special patrols in targeted areas. We want to remind you that if it doesn't look right, it most likely isn't. So please, if you see something, say something. We are a lot more effective when the community is our eyes and ears. End of report.
Great, thank you, Scott. Moving on to the attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 5 items for the board's consideration. The first item is approval to authorize the mayor to execute the easement agreement with New Hope Christian Church. I believe it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This is just allowing us easement on the property, correct? I mean, just to make sure. All right.
It's for sidewalks. Yeah. So we can place the sidewalks along there, yep. Any other questions?
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, also, this would be an easement agreement with respect to Wilson Street. We've worked out there. We need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute a easement agreement and the plat with Wilson, regarding Wilson Street.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion with this, anybody?
Same, right?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, as Ruben previously discussed, with respect to Park and Rec. This ordinance creates those two positions, so it's up for the board's review and consideration. It mirrors the discussion that took place last board meeting, so it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, go ahead.
And I guess it's just a small discussion. I know we've already talked about this, so we are agreeing that and made the motion, but we are missing 2 of these items in our packets. 3 of them in our packets.
I didn't receive anything.
Okay. They didn't receive anything.
Okay. Yeah, any other discussion on J3? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
2026.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is an ordinance amending a previous ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute closing documents. This is relative to our conveyance to Iroquois Paving. We are conveying 3 parcels, therefore it's to be 3 pins. The previous one just had 1 pin. I want to make sure I have that in the record. So we need a motion authorizing the mayor to re-execute the documents for the closing, which hopefully will take place within the next 2 weeks.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's just paperwork cleanup, basically, right? Larry?
That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
2027.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item is, this is authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents relative to the Embry Lane dedication. I believe this took, it was approved probably 5 or 6 years ago, but it appears as though the documents weren't signed, so this ordinance, strike that. This motion authorizes the mayor to execute the appropriate documents for the dedication.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I'll second.
Discussion?
Refresh my memory.
Yes,
It's been a while ago.
5
you're
years
saying.
ago, so.
I'm going to punt it to Ruben. And he'll punt to Jeff.
And here comes Jeff.
So, there's the roadway opening, or a lane, or, it was a gravel roadway between Main Street and Margaret, just to the east of Eastgate. And, the village had some storm sewer improvements that were performed in there, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Then they came through and paved and improved the roadway as well. So this is a formal dedication of that roadway. Prior to the dedication, the residents owned that area where the roadway was. So this is just dedicating it to the village, just like any other road or lane within the village.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Great, thank you. And unfinished business, discussion approval, read the 5511 West Court Street, acknowledging the surplus property for donation of the antique items to the Monee Historical Society.
So there's nothing to report as of yet. We're still waiting for, to hear word back from the salvage antique dealer to give us the numbers. So nothing to report yet at this time.
Thank you very much. Any new business, anybody? Open to the public? All right. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that
I'm
motion.
sorry, just before we do that, I just wanted to make mention, I know this is the second time that this is on the agenda, and we have not discussed it, so we can bring it back up at a later time, whichever meeting you guys decide, but it dies as of now.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
We're good, thank you.
7:30 p.m.